$200 million for each and every African American.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, man.
Reparations are not only morally justifiable, but they have the potential to address long-standing racial disparities and inequality.
Yes, I want some reparations. I want some reparations, man. 1.2 billion? Yeah. Let's give us all 1.2 billion. I was just playing. But who wouldn't want 1.2 million dollars, bro? Let's be honest. Let's be 100.
Potential to address long-standing racial disparities and inequality.
The equivocal number from the 1860s for 40 acres today is $200 million for each and every African American.
What? Hey, let's do the math, bro. 200 million. Hey, go ahead, bro. Me 200 million, bro. I'm ready. Don't get me wrong. I want 200 million, but no, it's around 13, 14 million African Americans in America now. Let's do the math. 13 million times 200 million. What? I don't even know what number this is, bro. 2.6 times 10 to the 15th. What number is this? I need to look it up. I don't even know. I don't think it's billion. I think it's trillions. I don't even know how to calculate what is trillion in scientific notation. Bro, trillion is 10 to the 12th. So this is 10 to the 15th. Hey.
Dollars for each and every African American.
California Democrats applauding the move that
Bro,
takes
that's
them
not
one
even
step
possible.
closer to giving more than $1 million to each black resident, despite activists saying it's still not enough. GOP presidential candidate Larry Elder ran for governor of California, and he joins us now.
Bro, 1 million for every black person would collapse the economy, because it's 13 million times 1 million. I don't even know what number that is. But 200 million for every black person would collapse the universe, bro. That would collapse the world. That would collapse the entire world's economy. I don't even know if it's that much money on Earth. I don't know. It probably is, but that is crazy, bro. And he was serious.
Larry Elder ran for governor of California, and he joins us now. Larry, we've been talking about this story all morning long. Is this for real? Could this really happen? Could they really give reparations to black people in California?
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for having me. That's kind of the problem, isn't it? I ran for governor. I'm familiar with the state budget. It is $300 billion. This would be $600 billion, give or take, twice what the state budget is. There is a $20 billion deficit. And there's a $1.5 trillion, T as in Tyrannosaurus, $1.5 trillion unfunded pension liability. From where is the money going to come? They're going to have to tax people. And by the way, most people in California aren't even white. They're people of color, even if you accept the premise here. Now, reparations is the extraction of money from people who were never slave owners to be given to people who were never slaves. And California was admitted as a free state. So what the task force says is, doesn't matter. It's about mass incarceration, redlining, and over-policing.
Okay,
bro, I never even thought about what he just said. A lot of the residents of California are black. So if you're giving each resident $1.2 million, that's double the state's budget. Like, forget schools, forget roads, forget buildings, forget anything. Just reparations. That's $600 million. Right there. So if you do the math, it would be double the state's budget. Forget everything else. Like, nothing else matters. And then the same reparations you get, you would have to pay taxes on just to make the state's money back. So you'd probably be paying like 200% tax or something. I don't know, but that's crazy.
That allegedly explains the racial gap. Really? How do you explain the fact that the Japanese Americans have a higher household income than whites do, even though in California there were laws that forbade Japanese from owning farmland? How do you explain the fact that Chinese Americans have a higher household income than do white Americans when there were laws in the Bay Area that forbade Chinese from participating in the laundry business? There are lots of people who are discriminated against. You want to assign the racial gap to all of that stuff. The real gap, Rachel, that they don't talk about is a fatherlessness gap.
Yes.
When I was a kid, virtually every one of my friends had a mother and a father in the home. Now that is rare. 70% of black kids now enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother. You cannot tell me that there's more racism today than it was back in 1952 when I was born.
Yeah, no one wants to talk about fatherlessness. No one wants to talk about the government's complicity in encouraging these kinds of arrangements and the lack of family formation. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Really quick, what is the message that this sends to black children in California?
It says that you are a victim, and this is all about buying votes. They don't care whether or not their money is there. What they want is for black people to...
That's one thing that that's one thing that makes a lot of sense to me. Cause what if you don't really feel like a victim? What if you don't feel like a victim? The problem I have, cause I think a lot of they call it wokeism. I don't know. I guess that's the best word to use right now, cause I can't think of anything else. I think a lot of the rhetoric in wokeism tries to make you feel like a victim. If it didn't do that, it would move me a lot more. But what if I genuinely do not feel like a victim? Then I would be lying to myself and be like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, yeah, I need that. Yeah, I deserve that. I would just be lying to myself. But then, like, I can't just use my own life as, like, proof for the world. So I try to be a little more open-minded. But if I'm being completely honest, I don't know if I need $1.2 million of reparations. Because in order for me to feel that way, I would have to feel like a victim in a sense. But I genuinely do not feel like a victim. But I'm not saying other people shouldn't. I just don't. But if I said that, I would just be lying. I'm serious. I would just be lying. So, yeah.
Pull that lever for Democrats like lemmings, because after all, Democrats are more likely to support reparations than Republicans. One more discrepancy. 75%, Rachel, of black boys in California cannot read at grade proficiency. 85% of blacks in California cannot do math at grade proficiency, even though we're spending more money K through 12 than ever before. We ought to be talking about those kinds of racial disparities, but they're not.
Yeah, amen to that. Okay, so Joe Biden has just tied his last year lowest approval rate, which was 36%. It crept up a little bit. He's now back to 30.
Man, that is crazy, man. Like, 85% can't do math, bro. I mean, math is a little more difficult, but I am in school for engineering, so of course, like, it's like you gotta do math. You have to do math, let's be honest, in engineering. But it just sucks because STEM is an area that is actually underrepresented by African Americans. And I wish that we were pushed more towards that. The thing about me, I went to a STEM school, so I genuinely cannot feel. I went to STEM schools. I was in some of the best schools in my area. Got a full ride to college, like, for STEM. So it kind of sucks when I hear that a lot of young African American children are lacking behind in math. I wish that wasn't the case, but what can we do to fix it? Like, obviously reparations aren't working. Obviously the path we're on right now is not working. So what can we do?
56% approval, 56 disapprove. What do you make of this? And as somebody who just announced 2 weeks ago that you're running for president, what does this say for America?
And by the way, my website, elderforpresident.com, throw a little something in the tip jar. Help me get to the debate, which is in August in Milwaukee. What it says is that people feel hurt. Inflation is eating up wage growth. Gasoline prices are higher. People don't like what's going on with the borders. People feel that they're worse off than they were 2.5 years ago. It is that simple. And what I'm offering is an alternative. I think a lot of people love Donald Trump, but also fear that Donald Trump derangement syndrome is such that a lot of people would not vote for him if he walked on water. So if you like the America First agenda, you like the policies that gave us the strongest border probably in our history, but you want somebody who you think.
And like I keep saying this, y'all, I don't know a lot about politics. Do not come to me for your political beliefs. I'm just saying what I believe and what I experience in life. And I do agree with that, man. A lot of people, and that's just common sense. Like, it's not really about, I'm going to tell you how people think. It's not really about, like, how good his policies are. It don't matter. He can sign a policy that gives everyone $100,000 tax-free and lower the debt. He can do everything, lower employment to negative 2%. It won't matter. Like, I feel like some people, it don't matter what you do. It's just like, they just don't like you. It just is what it is. I don't know how to change it. It's just life. But yeah, if y'all have any more suggestions for me, y'all can watch the videos in the description. I'm gonna finish right here, and I'll see y'all on the next piece.